I think every one of us can call our memories back to a special teacher that took us to a different place in our lives. And I'm standing at a literal and figurative threshold to a whole different way of teaching. In reality, I'm standing in North Bergen, New Jersey, and North Bergen High School. But in the fantasy world, I'm standing in front of a blast door that will open into the alien universe, where art teacher Steven Defendini and his students put on a production of Alien last year, using the most innovative and amazing techniques to turn a bunch of literal garbage into an incredible sci-fi fantasy, a gothic horror on stage at a high school play. Let's take a look at some of the stuff they built. Steven, I'm finding myself feeling comforted just being near something that's the shape of the Millennium Falcon, but this is an ambitiously sized one. Okay, talk me through why is this?
So our why for everything we ever do is just to see if we can, right? So our thing is always here, we're gonna present the problem, and then we have to figure out the solution. So we're gonna build a Millennium Falcon, but we can't build a small one because small ones exist. But this size scale model, don't really know if it exists too much. So what we do is we kind of blueprint everything out, and then the kids start bringing in pieces of old toys, anything recyclable they can find, and then we kit bash and problem solve to end up with this. So all over it are gum containers, there's action figures, there's bottle caps. There's one bottle cap on every project, I think.
Oh, really? Is that like your universal green
glue? It's kind of, we tried it with a universal green glue. We try to put one on everything. So we have, this is a gum container with the Jeep.
Yeah.
We say that this is our Force Awakens one because the satellite dish is currently gone.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And it just feels so genuine. I'll tell you why I love this size particularly. It's about 5 feet long. Mm-hmm. And the very first Millennium Falcon, built by Steve Gawley and Paul Houston and Lauren Peterson, was 5 foot long.
Wow.
And among my model making friends at ILM, that 5 foot Millennium Falcon is the most beautiful model any of us have ever seen. The 3-footer is great, but the 5-footer is just like, it sings like the Sistine Chapel of models. And so I've never seen anyone tackle a 5-footer. And it is such the reason they made them smaller for the second and third film is because they didn't have stages big enough to do motion control on such a large Falcon. But it's a really meaty, gorgeous size. How long did this take? And how many kids worked on this?
I'd say probably 5 kids worked on it in about 2 weeks.
That's it?
Yeah, because we stay almost every day after school. Wow. These kids come in if they have any free periods or their work is done, and they just kind of go to town. The back light's up too, so we have a blue light in the back here.
I saw that, and then this.
Yeah, and that's just the thing too that we love doing here is that everything we do, I believe, is anything that anybody can do, because we don't have a 3D printer here yet. Yeah, hopefully. I know that the school is working on building an arts academy with a lathe and a table saw, and many, many things. That's what I've heard.
But clearly, those are mere luxuries.
Well, yeah, our logic always is, if they can do all of this with nothing, what happens when we give them everything?
Exactly.
Or what happens when they go to college and they can do everything? And it's all just cardboard and whatever we have on hand.
So when you have a kid that doesn't think necessarily at the beginning of a project like this that they could make a 5 foot Millennium Falcon, and then they work on this and complete it.
Right.
You must have the experience of them going home and building brand new things over the weekend because they've discovered this new power.
Oh my God, yeah, all the time. So when we did projects a few years ago, we built a lot of the Avengers. One of our students, Curtis, went home and built Wolverine. He just brought it in. His mom was like, "Why is there Wolverine in your room?" And he built it. We have another student, Danny. He built a Flash costume for Halloween because the year before he made the Power Ranger costumes. And the thing that we always kind of strive for is, are they ever going to do this stuff again? Maybe not. But they know how to use a drill now. And they know how to use drill bits. And they know what the different adhesives do.
One of the hardest things to teach in model making in film is the prioritization. Because you could make a perfect model and just take 100 years to do it. But for a job, you only have a certain amount of time. Right. And so you can only do X amount of perfect. And the thing I love about a project like this is the end result is so it's so graphically satisfying. It's such an object that is there, and there's been so little attention paid to the perfection of the details. It's more in the agglomeration of them that it comes across. It's a fantastic lesson in what you can get by not prioritizing the perfection and just getting the overall gesture.
Yeah, we never go for screen accurate, if that makes sense, because and with our resources, it's almost never going to happen. So silhouette is always the most important thing. Do we have the arm on the right side? Is it the right dimensions? And then when we get the chance, we try to match the paint job and the piping and everything. But silhouette always the most important for us.
Well, especially because, I mean, and you've had this experience, I'm sure, where you go to a museum and you see a piece of original film prop. Often it looks pretty crunchy up close.
Absolutely.
Your brain fills in a lot of the details. Okay, so let's walk through some of these amazing creations.
Okay,
you've got a lot.
What
is this wonderful?
I don't actually know. We had a student. I don't. We have a student. His name was Carlos. He graduated, but he built this crocodile from a video game. I'm not sure what it was, but he showed me the picture, and we hadn't done it, so I was like, let's go for it. So over the year, we just pieced it together. Sometimes, we'll go out and buy some of these fake flowers just because we need it, and that's not in the normal school budget.
Do you ever have parents calling you asking if what their kid is building is okay?
Most of the time, no. I do have parents when they show up to the art show, they say thank you, but they're also very curious. Because when you're building Wolverine in your bedroom, it's like, what's happening. But
exactly.
What's been really nice in the last few years is we have parents now who want to be more involved. Some of the parents of the kids either work in the industry or they like graphic design, or they just like that their kids are working with their hands. So every parent-teacher night, what can I do to help?
And you guys made the Iron Throne.
Another I have a crafts class, and they put this together, and we have to teach them certain techniques. We have to teach them building, we have to teach them how to use adhesives, and we have to come up with creative solutions to do that. So the reason we keep using all these kind of pop culture things is because if you tell a kid you're going to make this random abstract thing, they might be engaged. But if you tell them you're building an Iron Throne, they know what it is. They can latch onto that.
Exactly.
So we built it. So they used cardboard dowels for the handle. The top is paint cups, buttons, hemp rope, and the blades are all cardboard, just with metallic paints. And then my group and I would spend a couple days after school putting this together.
A couple of days after school?
Yep, just putting it together. It's a lot of screws and a lot of bad music and ridiculous jokes as we put it together. But
again, it's such a powerful object to see it. And while up close you can see the primitive aspect of its manufacturing, it's the Iron Throne.
It is the Iron Throne. Yeah, we pulled it out for Halloween. We had a haunted hallway here, which the school does every year. And we put it on the stage. People took pictures.
Oh, of course they did.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And the school has always been really great about allowing us to
make a chair out of swords.
Yeah, because we never do anything that'll cross over into not school appropriate. If that makes sense.
Understood.
While the subject matter,
completely.
We're still teaching them. They're still learning. And they get to put all this together.
Amazing. That is beautiful.
Thank
I
you.
see here what is clearly to me the bottom half of Groot.
The bottom half of Groot.
Okay, so is it Groot okay?
Groot is perfectly fine. He's the top half of him is currently preoccupied, which we will see in a little bit.
Okay.
One of the things we do here is we try to save everything we've worked on so that later on we can reuse it if necessary. So the Hulk we probably never will reuse, but Groot, we found a purpose for him. He was the right size for a project, and we knew we absolutely had to use him for that.
Okay.
So he's on loan, and he will be back.
Okay, so talk to me about this Hulk because it's astounding.
All right, so a few years ago, he's all paper mache and plaster wrapped. There's 2 garbage cans inside of here with PVC and wood because they were the right size without any of the weight.
And so he's reasonably light? I mean,
he is, yeah, you could...
oh, wow.
Yeah, I could probably shift him.
Getting giant shapes like this that feel monolithic is really hard.
It is. It's when we were putting them together, it was a challenge. We built them in 2 pieces, top half and bottom half. And we had one student holding him up from the armpits with PVC, and he started sliding. He's like, move it, move it. It was a ton of fun. And the project started with trying to build the Guardians of the Galaxy life size because that's a normal thing to try to do.
Sure.
We moved on to then doing all of the Avengers. So we had Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, Star-Lord.
Now, this guy is kind of special, am I right?
Yes.
He's sort of a what do you call it? A plateau for you guys.
Yes.
What did you learn on the Hulk?
Engineering was really a big thing.
It's real because he's got to support his own weight.
Absolutely, yeah. It was a real learning curve to figure out what's the right position for him to be in to sustain that weight in the space we had with the resources we had.
Yeah.
So with him, we had courage to move on to other bigger things we did later on. And we never have the heart. Other things have fallen apart, but he's also never fallen apart.
Oh,
he's solid.
He's
Iron
really
Man
solid.
crumbled. Captain America. We built the Bat Cave once to scale. We built the Bat Pod. We built Batman. All that fell, but he never does like the Falcon. They just never come apart.
Now I see the Power Rangers over here.
Yeah. So what ends up happening every year is we sit down, look at what we've done, and then try to think of what haven't we done.
Okay.
So we've built statues.
Yeah.
We didn't really dabble too much in costumes. So clearly being maybe over ambitious, we built 7 Power Ranger suits. Each kid worked on it. Some of them, it was the Red Ranger, it was his first year building anything.
They look beautiful in
Thank
these
you.
costumes.
And then we walked around, and then there's another teacher at a local school, Mr. Freeze, and she had us go over for Rita Day in May, and we read to all the grammar school students as Power Rangers.
Oh,
It was great.
Oh, that's
They
awesome.
loved it. Yeah. And again, some of these kids didn't go on to doing. I don't know if it works anymore. I used to make noises. And it's all EVA foam. The blade is some cardboard.
It's beautiful. I love you using a stencil to get this textural wrap.
We tried our
on
best
red.
to keep them kind of homogenized, where everything was similar in its aesthetic. So that actually fits into the back of that Ranger, but we would screw it in so it wouldn't come out. Each Ranger had their appropriate tools, if we're going to call them that. And then last year, this is the Flash costume.
Oh, look at this beautiful Flash helmet.
It took us 2 months to figure that out, and I think Danny built that 4 or 5 times before we ended up with that.
You know, I mean, with these complicated compound curves, that doesn't sound out of the realm of reasonable at all.
No, and again, we try never to adapt anything 100% screen accurate, so everything's our own version.
Right.
Everything is inspired by all the great work done at all the different teams.
So there's an elephant in the room.
Yes.
And it's actually specifically the space jockey elephant-faced man.
Yes.
And I want to talk about the alien. So this is what first got me to pay attention to what you guys were doing, is your production of Alien. But I am astounded to see your space jockey and how huge it is. Just walk me through this. It's the Hulk that gave you guys courage to build the jockey. Is that correct?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
I think originally we were just gonna put like a cutout or something of it, but I was like, we have the right pieces for this. So the core of this is a security desk. We got fabric from the sap off.
Yeah.
There's actually a great place out of Jersey City, Tom Carroll Scenery, that donated a bunch of foam.
Oh, that's great.
So the core of that telescope, I'm not sure what this is, is crown molding. That's foam.
That's genius.
There's a carpet warehouse that gave us the tubes. This is all floor mat EVA foam from the preschool that was throwing it out. And then last but not least, we need an actual figure. So Groot jumped in. Groot's underneath here.
Groot's underneath here.
Groot's underneath here. If I rip this off, it's Groot's face. And this is actually the backpack of the Black Ranger, which was the perfect shape. So then we paper mache and plaster. So this is all paper mache paper towels. Wow. And EVA foam, and then this is skinned with fabric from the sap off.
It is the difference between it being a cutout and being a full object is massive to the audience.
Right.
It really makes it. I mean, the ambition of that. Was there a point at which, when you realized it was going to be, I don't know, 16 feet long, that you thought, "Am I crazy?"
I think we always had that idea that we're kind of crazy, but there was a point where it was only about 12 feet, and then I was on the stage with Layla, Jalen, Danny, and we were like, it needs to be bigger. So we rolled out all the ladders we had, cut more, and attached more. So originally it stopped about halfway, but it wasn't impressive enough. We just kept running to the back of the auditorium and trying to figure out how much bigger.
What a great lesson to give your kids. Like, you can change the plan halfway through when you realize it hasn't hit the mark.
Yeah, they're always so game to just do it. They run in and they'll be like, but they love it. Like, they love being here after school, and they'll be here all the time. They leave when I kick them out, right. Which is not an easy thing to do with high school students, because most high school students, they do their work and then they go home.
Right,
go
right.
play on the courts or go do their other activities. These guys never leave. I have to kick them out.
All right, let's talk about these beautiful alien helmets. So, there's some pieces here I recognize.
Yes, you shipped them over. Thankfully, we were going to do an unboxing video, but it's been crazy with Comic-Con and everything. So we brought out 4 helmets. So this is, I believe, what you sent with your screencast.
Yeah, this is
ours, and we put them side by side because the fact that we were able to get them that close was really surprising to us when you sent it, because we didn't have scale. Yeah.
That's the thing is,
we had no reference point for scale.
That's what blew my mind when the suit came into my shop, is that your size-wise are almost dead on the mark, and I'm never dead on the mark when I'm trying to figure out the parallaxing of a camera shot. It just doesn't really occur. So the fact that you guys did it is crazy.
And it's the same process. We have LED lights from local hardware stores that are built in, so the batteries are good, but these are Christmas decorations. There's greeblies all over it.
Oh, this is the one you brought to my book signing, because there's my signature.
Yeah.
Oh, may I?
Yeah, absolutely, please.
This is just so great.
It might smell like a high school student, but...
Oh, yeah. No, it smells like enthusiasm and love. Oh, we must go on. We have to go on.
Oh, man.
So then we have 2 more, which I think you'll appreciate. Jalen, who's one of our current students, real enthusiastic kid. When we did this, she ran on the stage with this at the end and got us something very precious, which is that.
Oh!
So then we had our
signature.
Ripley Gabriella also sign it. So now we have it by the 2 Ripleys.
That's great.
And then this one I thought would be interesting. So our Kane, we needed him to do practical things on the set that you would normally cut. And so he's on stage permanently with this. It's soda warp now.
Right.
And then he would run off stage. We'd put the face hugger on.
And then the face.
And then there's highlighter fluid in there, and under a black light, it looks like slime.
It's great. It's a great solution.
We had to, because everything we don't have time to cut and edit. And then there's a litany of...
I didn't even allow myself to look over here at this, but this is your xenomorph, and it's beautiful.
So we put the plastic skull inside to try to match the original.
Right.
And then there's a mask here. So he would wear it here, we'd buckle him in, and then we tighten this in the back. And then he would work. And it's pretty light, and it's a Xavier he wore it. He was really, really good about staying in this permanently.
And you had slime that dripped out of the mouth?
Yes. My girlfriend actually just made slime that any kid could make.
This is just...
and we just pour it on top of his head, and it would just pool in the mouth and then drip out. It's just contact solution, baking soda, and glue.
Really?
That's it. And it sustains this long, too.
Amazing. That's great. Oh my gosh, here's a chest burster?
Yeah, he's a puppet.
Really?
Yeah, you can put your hand in the back.
Ooh. Oh my gosh.
There's lace on his arm as well. And like his tendons right here are just lace because it looked good. It looked the part.
He's gorgeous and really kind of upsetting.
Yeah. Yeah, we needed a lot of there's a lot of problem solving in how do we make that pop out of a kid's chest and not actually pop out of the kid's chest. So we thought about a fake cavity, but that wasn't gonna work. So we built a table with a hole, and we had Layla was the puppeteer underneath. No, I'm sorry, Jalen was the puppeteer. Layla had the blood cannon.
Yeah. Do you ever have to talk a parent off the ledge? They call you and they say, Steven, blood cannons and chest bursters, is that really okay?
All the kids that I always have are really, their parents seem to be really supportive because they're always here with us, and they never, and I've spoken to the parents, and they're really kind of, when you hear school project, they're like, it's a school project. And then you see this and you're like, okay, maybe that's a little more than a school project.
That's great.
And then one thing that most people don't know is that we actually had built 2 of these guys.
Whoa.
But for time, this one's heavier, but he would have puppeteered.
Oh, you guys.
And then we put a plunger in here that Xavier would have blown out. When we were originally conceiving the play director, Mr. Corvo, and I thought maybe we should have 2 of these for speed.
Right, okay.
But over time, we realized that we weren't going to need that. So Danny was our original xenomorph, and so was Xavier. Danny graciously bowed out over time and gave Xavier the full capability to be 2. So we have 2 of them. This is just less screen accurate. There's only going to be seen one time in the dark. So this would go over the shoulders, and he would crouch down like this and pull, and then this would and then he would blow out this guy, because from a distance, you don't need it to read as the mouth, it just needs to have the shape.
Just to see that silhouette. Mm-hmm. I love that your ambition exceeded what you were eventually able to get on stage, but that's always what happens.
Every time we do something, Mr. Bonacci works in the music department, because this is always like a big group effort. We had a spray gun.
Yeah.
It wasn't enough for the encore. And I was like,
a spray gun for the blood. Okay.
And I was like, we really need to get Lambert completely shocked and completely drenched.
And that's famously what Ridley Scott did in the film. He hit Veronica Cartwright with the blood spatter, really, like she talks about it still.
Absolutely. So Brittany, who's our Lambert, I was like, Brittany, I'm so sorry. I can't tell you what's going to happen. And she was like, do more. So Brian, who's our music, he's like our all-around like tech builder guy, built this blood cannon that's pressurized. So we would fill it with liquid, and then he would charge it up. And
where's the release valve?
Let's see if we can. There's blood in there. Oh, it's right here.
Oh, it's there.
Yeah,
okay.
This is all his.
So he'd pressurize the PVC.
There's still blood
with
in
a
it,
bicycle
too.
pump. I see a Schrader valve right here.
Oh yeah, I had no idea what to do, and I was like, Brian, I need something, and he's like, I got it. And then the next day, this.
So this wraparound is in fact just extending the length of tube to have as much compressed air as possible.
Absolutely, yeah.
I've built this exact kind of rig multiple times over the years.
Yeah, it's that thing of surrounding yourself with people smarter than yourself. And I knew I couldn't, but he's like a genius when it comes to this stuff.
So this was this part was filled with blood. This part was pressurized, and when it was time, how far did that spray?
So Layla and Jalen were under the table, one with the puppet, one with this, and we were like, go. It sprayed so much that it hit the projector screen in the back, and it was just drenched. I have a video somewhere of Brittany's hair, her bangs going, and it was like, we were all cheering in the back quietly, of course, but we were all cheering back there because it worked. We didn't know if it was going to work, and it was the last show.
Oh my gosh.
Absolutely.
Now, before we get to the robot's head, can I pick up the phone?
Absolutely, please do.
I really almost built this exact prop when I was 15, based on photos from one of the Starlog magazines. This is Ripley's flamethrower.
Mm-hmm. We tried to put a light in it, but we just use stage lights for effect.
Yeah.
But this is all repurposed stuff. So the core of this is the Nerf gun. There's rulers, and then these are actually smart water bottles. But they're the right shape when you spray them.
Yeah.
And that's all we ever need.
Yep. Oh,
so cool. We just keep attaching things until it has the right look. And this hose does nothing, but it looks the part.
It really does.
So that's what we're always aiming for. If it looks the part, we use it.
Okay. Now we've got a severed head. Now we've got to the real gore.
Yeah.
This is your Ash.
This is our Ash. So Dakota, great kid. I had to take pictures of him, and then we had to build his face. So it's pretty hideous because it's on a mask and a really terrible rig, but you only ever saw it from the side like this. Because our staging for this was Dakota would get knocked in the head. Ibrahim, who was our Brett, was already dead by that point in the play, so he was under the table, and this was on him. So he's a really short kid, real sweet guy. This one under his shoulders, he'd see through here, through the shirt, and then he would just flail around on stage. And these were all, I don't even know if they work anymore. There's motion from a baseball bat, lights. So anytime he got hit, and this is...
Oh, that's amazing.
It's a piece of EVA foam with the headband inside and suspenders under there.
I did not... Okay, that's such a great solution to knocking a robot's head off on stage.
I believe in the original they had a kid with a fake head on stage. Maybe one of the kids that wore...
You can see that the arms are being fed from the elbows, not the shoulders, right?
Right, but Ibrahim was the exact height of Dakota with this on. So we never had to extend his arms because they looked the part. And he just went on stage and then they were both under the table. There's a great picture of that too, somewhere. Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah, it's really nice to work in a place where you can do this kind of stuff. And this requires a level of, I guess, engineering that these kids really have to figure out.
Yeah.
The school's really great. They have this like robust STEM program that they recently started. And it's like Dr. Salter, Dr. Kashishi, and they're all kind of in charge of that. And they're pushing engineering and math too. And then on this corner, this is happening. If those ever merge, I don't know.
But the thing is,
there's engineering happening everywhere.
This is the thing, is all of this is engineering. This is all art and engineering meeting, and engineering not just in the physical, but engineering how people are perceiving it, and engineering how the story gets told. Because you can't do all the same special effects. You had to come up with different solutions for getting the same story points across. All of that's engineering.
Yeah. Every year it's what's the next thing we're going to solve, and like what engineering, what problem solving are we going to use for that? So we did Last year I was like, guys, listen, nobody looks at our stuff. We do the Hulk, we do the Game of Thrones cheer, the parents come, it's nice. Maybe if we do a play, people will pay attention. It's clearly history wrote itself there.
This is one of those, you really are teaching the kids how to fish. And it's something they'll take with them in whatever they do for the rest of their lives.
Thank you. Yeah, they're literally and metaphorically fishing. They like dumpster dive almost.
Yeah.
We did the Bat Cave, and one of our kids, Mahmoud, went and found 13 thrown away televisions from P.C. Richards. He asked them, they said, take them. They didn't work, but they look good.
Yeah.
So now this year we're like, what problem are we going to solve now?
So what's the next thing you guys are working on?
Well, we've done a play, and it's such a big one. What do you do next?
Yeah, how do we
get more people to see it?
Right.
So we started thinking about making a short film.
Ooh.
But we are not normal. So what kind of short film are we going to make? Well, we're probably going to put stop motion in it. And then that's going to switch to live action at some point. And we have all that stuff ready to go. And do we have the camera equipment for it? Not yet. Can we shoot it on an iPad or an iPhone? Maybe.
Oh, I think most certainly.
But I never knew we were going to have a Hulk. And we have a Hulk. So we're going to try that. And if it's 2 minutes long, it's 2 minutes long. If it's 10 minutes, it's 10 minutes. As long as they're learning.
Your ambition is really inspiring. This is so beautiful. Steven, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh, it makes me want to make stuff.